program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
Good evening and welcome to BronxTalk. We've had a schedule switch tonight, so if you're tuning in for the debate for the Democratic primary in the 80th Assembly District, that's been moved to Monday, September 10th at 9 p.m. The incumbent, Naomi Rivera, had a death in her family, and even though she was not planning to attend the debate, we thought that out of respect we would postpone our proceedings until next week, Monday night at 10 p.m. So, tonight, something totally different, unique, and special for you. It is the Bronx, after all, and we all know the Boogie Down BX is the home of doo-wop, of hip-hop, of salsa, jazz, and a long legacy of rhythm and blues. But did you know that the Bronx is also home to heavy metal, headbanging music? That's right. A new store has sprung up in the South Bronx that features heavy metal paraphernalia and an emphasis on bands trying to make a name for themselves. It's original, it's different, and it is the Bronx. So tonight, we explore the Nevermore store and learn about not only a one-of-a-kind place in the Bronx serving a specific culture, but also a discussion on what it takes to launch your own business and see your dreams come true in the Bronx. It can be done, folks, and we'll find out about that tonight. Please join me in welcoming from the Nevermore store, which is 1014A Westchester Avenue. It's Raven. Good evening.
Good evening, Gary.
Thank you for joining us. And from the Women's Business Resource Center in Hunts Point, Marsha Cameron. Marsha, always good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Gary.
By the way, to our viewers, we're on tape tonight. The phones are not open. But if you'd like to weigh in, then send an email to bronxtalk@hotmail.com. And we'll read your questions or comments on the air during a future edition of our program. Well, Raven, we've got all this stuff around us. We didn't hold back. We said bring everything you got. Tell me what the Nevermore store is and what is it all about?
Well, I'm servicing headbangers and metalheads in the Bronx because we don't really have a specific store that caters to us and caters to that crowd. Mm-hmm. So I decided to open up back in 2007. It opened, it was okay for 2 years, and now we're back. We had our grand opening this past Saturday. It went well.
And I attended.
It was awesome.
For the record.
Mm-hmm. So now we're back, and yeah.
Explain to me why this kind of paraphernalia, why this kind of music, like what do you like about it? And then also let's talk a little bit about what didn't happen in 2007 that you're hoping to change around for 2012.
Well, basically, like I said, we don't really have a store that caters to us, and headbangers and metalheads kind of have a bad rap because everyone always assumes that we worship Satan or stuff like that, and that's not true. I don't worship Satan at all. But I do love the heavy metal music. It makes me feel good. It doesn't make me feel violent at all. And, we have style. We love color. We love, heavy music. It's just the riffs, the guitars, the drums. It's just amazing.
You like the volume, certainly.
Love the volume, yes. The energy that heavy metal music provides. It's amazing.
So we're putting some of the pictures so people can see the kinds of things that are on sale in the store. How popular was it in 2007, and how popular is the culture in the Bronx? Are you serving a dozen people, or are there really many more that we don't know a lot about?
Oh, no, there's a lot of us, and when something good comes out, we all come out. So, and back in...
When you say something good, what do you mean?
In other words, it's like if you throw a piece of food on the floor and the animals are going to come out and grab it. That's basically what happens. So everyone was excited when I opened up the store, I was struggling a little bit because of advertisement. You know, I needed to get it out to the public, which was kind of difficult. But now with Facebook and everything is easier. So this time around, I have more clientele. I do shows in the Bronx since 2008, and I kept the name relevant while looking for a new place.
When you say do shows, what does that mean?
I book bands within the heavy metal.
Music shows.
Music shows, music concerts. And I do festivals. I just did one in August at the Point. And it was 10 bands, hot dog eating contest, barbecue. You bring the whole family. It's a family function.
You know, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. And to be honest, as you both know, I found out about this through Facebook. One of my friends is a friend of a friend, and, you know, we put it together. But the appeal of it, the way you described it, you have a show with 10 bands. You get a lot of people come out. There's a lot of people out there who really like this, you know, these styles, and we're going to show some of these artifacts, if you will, a little later. And there really are a lot of people. Like, there's an audience that is into this.
Yes, there really is. There really is.
Are they in one geographic area? Like you say, well, you know, on Pelham Parkway or down in, you know, the South Bronx, or are they really spread out through the Bronx?
No, we're spread out all over the place. We just don't have a place to go to. The village
Until
used
now,
to be,
of course.
well, of course, yes. The village used to be the place to be, but, you know, it's gotten preppy. There's other, you know, businesses that's open, and they kind of pushed us out. So I'm trying to bring it to the Bronx and show that we have a scene out here.
And of course, and now let's bring on Ms. Cameron, the idea that we could have a place that's a center of focus and bring other people to us. Of course, we'd like to think they're bringing their cash as well and spending it in not only her store, but in everybody's store. But tell me, Ms. Cameron, a little bit about what it takes and what it took for, because I know that you supported this effort, what it took for Raven to get to this point that she had the store open.
Well, at first I have to congratulate Raven, because oftentimes a lot of people start out and for whatever reason they may fail. But she didn't. She realized that she had to keep the name relevant, and she did that with an online presence. And when she did her projections and realized that she had the opportunity to really start up the business again, she did. And it was a lot of hard work. You have to plan it out. I mean, you have to plan, you have to do a business plan, because one of the things that we say is that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And so it's very important that you put together a business plan and you manage your cash flow. It's very important that you manage the day-to-day operations of your business. And that's one of the things that I think in terms of Raven, while she will be successful, is that she is going to manage that day-to-day operations. She realized that she needed help with marketing. And so we assisted her in putting together a press release. And of course, it was on Facebook, and you have a friend of a friend.
I was among the people
and so it's, you know, and this is the synergy that comes up when you have something like this.
The word that I want to focus on is the notion of projections, because that's, you know, people say, hey, I got this great idea, I'm going to sell who knows what, and then all of a sudden the projections aren't realistic. How do you help her or advise others to make sure that these projections are realistic? And for this store, what are they based on?
Well, I think the main thing is that my background is in banking, and so my projections are extremely conservative. I sort of look at it from how a banker would look at it. If you walk in and you're looking for financing, it has to be conservative. So, for example, for Raven, when you look at, you put all the factors together, you look at the products that she's selling, you look at the volume with which you expect her to sell, and you look at the cost that she's charging per product, then you sort of can get a better analysis of what her cash flow is going to be over a period of time. And once you have cash flow that pretty much can last for 6 to 9 months, then it definitely makes sense for you to start up that business.
The idea, and you mentioned it, of course she mentioned it as well, and we've suggested it, and I want to focus in on it, of why, you know, it was important to keep the name and what it was valuable about doing that, that helped her to quote-unquote cash in. We're not quite there yet, but I know we've launched the place so that we have the place now. In other words, why is she able to keep doing this, whereas maybe others have not been able to?
Because Raven was extremely smart, and she realized that she had a very good brand, and she wanted to keep that brand. And part of it is that the store closed But she kept an online presence, so she kept her brand going, and she kept her customers, and that's very important. She really did a very good job of doing that.
So in other words, even when the physical place may not have worked out, we didn't actually get into why, but we have a sense that it wasn't because of the lack of popularity, it was because of other factors she couldn't control. I'm making an educated guess there. And yet, online, using the tool of the internet, there was still commerce. And I have to tell our viewers that our director, in a closet way, as far as I'm concerned, I didn't know that he was into this kind of music. And Michael, who's been with us and doing a great job for years, said, "Oh, I'm always chatting with Raven, and I know all about her," even though he'd never been to the store. That's the kind of clientele she kept going.
Exactly, and that's the power of social media and good branding.
And also a product that works. Now,
Exactly.
me and some of the other old stodgy folks like us would say, "Oh, goodness, nobody likes this stuff," but obviously it's very, very popular. Talk to me about one other aspect, and then we're going to go back to her, about the notion of her passion for this. She lives this, she breathes this, she cares about it, she cares about her customers, she wants to promote it. Talk to me about how that works, and maybe to communicate to others to say, "I always wanted to do something, but I don't know how to turn it into something." Talk to me about the importance of
I
that.
think the key to what you just said is that when it's your passion, it's not work. And this is clearly Raven's passion. She loved this product. She loved the music. And so to her, it's not work. This is what she loves doing. And I think when you have that kind of passion for what you do and your product that you're selling, it's not work. So I would say to anyone out there who has a passion for what you're doing right now, come in and sit with us. If it's a feasible business, we will work with you.
And it may not be heavy metal. It could be a bakery, or it could be a hair salon of some sort, or whatever it is. And you don't charge much, I assume.
No, we don't. Our services are entirely free.
Okay, and Jane will put up the Women's Business Resource Center website and all that, so we know what they are. Let's have some fun. What is this stuff? What is this thing?
Okay, so that's a leather bag.
Oh my God,
yeah.
It's a leather bag.
That's a leather bag, actually.
Is it
You
like a
unzip
wine
it.
bag or something?
That's what a lot of people say. It's shaped like a wine bag, and
But
you
not
can put it
necessarily.
on. It's cute. It's
Okay.
different. It definitely makes people
Now,
talk.
are these homemade? You get them from a company or
No,
something?
those I get from a company.
It's actually pretty nice. All right, now these, I guess you're wearing them, right?
Yes, I am. They're called Cyberlocks, and I hand make these.
And now how do I put them on my ears or
Oh
something?
yeah. Well, if you had hair, you can wrap
Oh,
it
if
around.
I had hair, thank you very much.
I do make them for the guys, though. Even
For
though
guys without hair?
I
without a lot
do.
of
You
it?
can wear a wig cap, and I make the Mohawk style ones. for
All right,
the
do I get a
guys.
look here, fellas? There we go. The Mohawk style ones.
The Mohawk style ones.
Listen,
you know.
but this is the fun of it.
Yes.
Is you meet your friends, and now these kinds of things I saw all over the store there. Now these are, I guess,
That's the collar for your
for a
neck.
collar for my neck.
For your neck.
I figured it's going to fit my hand. Okay, and these little dolls and things. Now the other thing that predominates in this store is the notion of comic books. You work with Comic-Con. I guess is that part of the same culture?
Well, yeah, when you're into heavy metal and stuff, you tend to like superheroes. You also tend to like anything outside of the culture like that. And I'm selling tickets to New York Comic-Con. So now everyone can come to the Bronx, to my store, and buy it.
Okay, these are
Belt
belt
buckles.
buckles. You don't mind if I go through this?
No,
Now,
no.
just give me an example. Here's a Bon Jovi patch. Is this like Guns N' Roses?
Guns N' Roses.
Is Guns N' Roses. See, I'm somewhat hip. And what are the bands? Name the bands that give me two levels. I want the levels of the big time bands, Guns N' Roses and Bon Jovi, and we assume Aerosmith and some of the others. But also, I want to hear about some of the local people and the unsigned bands that you take so seriously.
Oh, well, when I do the shows, I always have a lot of local bands come out. So, and there's a lot of them that come through.
From the Bronx?
A lot of them are from the Bronx. Some travel to the Bronx to do the shows.
Wow.
And it's just amazing. And the energy's great. They bring people into the Bronx. They learn that we have a scene out here. And they have fun. I do all ages shows, so that way I don't discriminate on age. They can come in, have fun, and go home early enough to not get in trouble. So.
That's good. As far as the bands, we had a photograph, and I don't know if you guys can find it. When I was there, I loved the idea maybe some of the neighbors didn't, I don't know, but there were guitarists right in front of the store. It just created a whole, there they are, a whole atmosphere, and they're just rocking away. To me, obviously you don't want to do that late at night, but that's a nice thing, I think.
Yes.
You know?
Just to let them know we're here.
And these are hair clips?
Those are hair clips that I make, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, and you make these?
Yes, I started a brand called Cyberdoll, PSY.
Oh, that's what this is?
That's what that is, yes.
Cyberdoll,
Hair
okay.
pieces and clips, which is those clips that you see. Sponsoring one of my friends that's going to walk in breast cancer walk, so I made some pieces for her, too.
Marsha, let's talk a little bit about one other aspect which I didn't mention on the air yet, and I know about it because I went in the store. What Raven needed to do to make this survive was to fit herself into a store with other businesses. So that's why the address, by the way, which we want to give out, we want people to visit, 1014A Westchester Avenue. Talk to me about how that works. And I guess it's a sensible thing in this day and age.
It most certainly is. Actually, we have an incubator right now, Sunshine Suites, that's in Hunts Point in the Banknote Building. And what it allows you to do... They were featured on
this program recently, as
exactly.
you know.
It allows you to pool your resources. So, for example, you may not be able to afford the entire rent yourself. But if you have a business and it's not a competitor, then it makes perfect sense for you to sort of align yourself with that business and rent a store together. So one of the things that we encourage a lot of our small business owners to do, starting out, you may not, when you do your projections, you may not have the money for a large space, but if you can find a business that you can actually align yourself with that is not a competitor, it makes perfect sense.
How does that work? Now, do you help somebody find that out? In other words, give me an idea of the kinds of service that you could provide in that context.
Okay. In terms of that, we have a lot of clients, and so, for example, if we have someone who's looking for space, then we'll probably send out a mass email, a constant contact, and we contact our clients, letting them know, you know, this client is looking to do this. Is this something that you'd be interested in going in partnership with? And so that gives us an opportunity to reach out to different entrepreneurs and present that option to them.
Mm-hmm. Would you hand me that?
Of course.
I want to just show this off. Now, these are because these are really lovely, and frankly, you know, you don't necessarily have to be a headbanger to enjoy. This is what, I don't want to mess it up.
They're all hair clips.
They're all hair clips.
Mm-hmm.
And they really are lovely.
Thank you.
And so these are the kinds of things that you make, and you sell on the website as well.
Yes.
You know, Marsha, I wanted to go through, and excuse me, you'll have to take these back because I have the paper underneath my hairpiece here. Some of the other workshops and things. Just give me a little bit more. My objective here, folks, is to encourage you in this day and age where it's very difficult to get corporate support or other kinds of support. If you have an idea or a passion, that maybe there's a way to work this out and build a business that can help yourself or supplement, you know, what you do for your family. So talk to me about some of these workshops that I have in front of me. There's one in Community Board 12, one at the Parkchester Library. Give me an idea of what these are.
We started in 2010 a Women Speaker Series, and it was so successful that we had different people from different communities in the Bronx reach out to us and say, listen, we would love for you to come to our community and have a workshop. So we took their advice and we put together 7 different workshops in 7 different industries in 7 different locations. As you can see, as you mentioned, we have Parkchester, we have Monroe College. We started a small business development center with Monroe College, and we've had a very successful relationship with them. For anyone who's looking to start a small business, I would suggest you get in touch with us, because one of the things that we have, and we actually started this with Monroe, is a Capital One Bank-sponsored competition.
See, this is what everybody's saying is, you know, obviously we want a relationship with a financial institution.
Of course. And so we are able to offer $5,000 to 4 small business owners to start your business. Now, we're not talking about large corporations here. We're talking about anyone who has a passion to start a business. The first prize is $2,000. Second place is $15,000, $1,500. The last time we had this, the person who came in second said she just wanted to be able to purchase a Mac. And so a week ago, I got a picture of a Mac. So she was able to purchase that Mac to just enhance her business. And so if you have a passion, if you want to start a business, I suggest you reach out to us.
This is probably the question that anybody who's watching would be thinking about. Do you have to have some kind of capital? I mean, obviously, the more you have is helpful. There's no doubt. But is there an amount you say, gee whiz, you need 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 behind you?
Again, one of the things that we do financial projections. So we have a lot of people who come in and they say, I need $200,000 to start a business. How did you arrive at that number? Well, that's what I think I need. So you do the projections. There are times when it's more. There are times when it's less. Yes, you do need capital. And that's, I think, is the most disheartening part of my job. It's when someone comes in and they have the passion.
Can't quite get there. You know, I just want to list these things. Veterans, what businesses available to veterans. Grandma's, what about using grandma's recipe to make some money? Learn how to rebuild your credit, which is undoubtedly a big issue. What are some of the services available to start a medical-related business? All these things. I'm guessing daycare centers and daycare services are big, and hair salon and those kinds of things are big. Raven, do you have plans about doing something else with this, or just marketing this? Do you have bigger ideas, or like what, you know, in other words, past Halloween, where are we going with this?
Well, I actually wanted to open up a store in Fordham Road because that's a nice place there. You have the college.
There's a lot of commerce.
Yes, you have the college, you have the high schools, you have all the travel, the buses, the trains. That's the perfect area, and there are a lot of metalheads in Fordham Road, too.
Really?
So,
oh,
yes.
see, I was wondering if there was a place
yes,
there.
there are. They hang out over there.
They're in that area. See, now that's interesting. Who would know why? But you would, of course, would know that. And one thing I wanted to mention, Marsha talked about some of the small business success stories. Raven won this award. Marsha, tell me what this award is.
One of the things that we try to do is whenever we have someone who's extremely exceptional in terms of operating their business, we try to acknowledge that, and we present them with an award from the Bronx Women's Business Resource Center. Now, in addition to the counseling and workshops that we provide, we are sponsored by New York State, and we're able to offer a 14-week workshop. And Raven is a proud graduate of that workshop.
I see. So that's part of what we're talking about there. There's
exactly.
the picture of that award there. Raven, speaking from you as opposed from our business executive, explain to me and to our viewers, what advice do you give for people who would say, gee, you know what, I want, maybe not heavy metal, but I want to do it. What are the things to do well, and what are the things not to do, like the pratfalls that you think could be common and things you've avoided?
Well, the one thing that I always tell everyone is do not be afraid to fail. That is what gets in the way of
guts.
Any kind of success. If you're afraid to fall flat on your face, then you're not going to go anywhere. So I'm not afraid to fail. As you can see, I had my store before and it closed, and I reopened. And I just tell everyone, if you have a dream and you really want to do it, just do it. Don't procrastinate. Do what you can to make it happen. Take that hustler mentality and make it something worthwhile, something that represents you.
Talk to me about the role that the Women's Business Resource Center played specifically in your business. We know the range of, and we've talked about the range of services that they provide, but what specifically did they do for you to make this work?
Well, when I first opened up, I opened up with my tax return. I didn't have the revenue that I needed, like you talked about earlier, but I did use my tax return, and then I just went for it. What happens is that you have a passion, and you take what you can and you make something with it, and you grow and you grow and you grow. And when I found out about the Women's Resource Center, they helped me to get a small stipend, which was about $750.
Really, which is not a lot given what sometimes it takes to do.
It's not, but
this.
it helped. It helped because I was able to further advertise with that money that I had, that they gave me. And then they surprised me with this wonderful award that I wasn't even prepared for. And they acknowledged my business. Yes. So.
You know, something you said, and I wanted to focus on it, is don't be afraid to fail. Now, many people, frankly, can't afford to fail because they say, well, don't be afraid. That's nice for her to say. If I fail, I got like a really big problem. You have a family, you have children.
I'm a single mother with 4 children.
4 children. So, but you have supplemented what you do. You do other work. So, you know, I mean, let's talk about that a little bit. Is it difficult? You know, do you spend more time with this, more time with the other work? And I'm just guessing that's a bit of advice, too. Don't be out there without a net if you can help it, right?
Well, you definitely need some kind of something going on. So I work part-time at another job. So, and I'm on and off with that one. So this is going to be my full-time. And I do work part-time anywhere I can, wherever I'm needed.
Marsha, let's just wrap it up and just review, if anybody, if they're thinking about a business, what they need to have, and then, of course, how they get to you and the great colleagues that you work with.
Well, if you're thinking to start a business, I suggest that you come in for a consultation. We normally have a 2-hour consultation that we provide, and of course, it's free of cost. If you are an existing business owner, I suggest you come in. If you can't, my advice to you is this. Manage the day-to-day operations of your business, which means your cash flow, your inventory, your employees, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to make you succeed or fail.
And then certainly they can contact you, and the services are all free, even to pick up the phone and say, what do you think? You guys will do that.
We actually do a lot of phone consultation as well, because as you know, small business owners, oftentimes it's just one person and they're extremely busy.
Right.
And we actually will go out as well to meet with our clients.
BronxWBC.org.
Yes.
Now, for Raven, we want to blow it out. Is that what we say? Yes. We want to blow it out, okay? It's thenevermorestore.com. Okay, we want people who love this kind of stuff and people who would kind of be interested in like a little butterfly thing for your daughter or son or whomever. Just do that. Or if you like the hair things like I do, I mean, that's what we want to do. And then you want them to come by and visit and see where we're at and shake hands and congratulate.
Say hi, hang out a little bit.
I mean, that's nice. And listen to the music, 1014A Westchester Avenue. And is there a concert or anything coming up soon?
I'm planning one in October.
In October?
Yes.
Right on time for Halloween or something like that. Okay. Raven Cardona, thank you so much. Congratulations on the store.
Thank you.
I think it's an inspiration, especially because of your courage and because of the uniqueness and your passion for doing it. That says BRONX to me, I'll tell you that. And Marsha, thanks for supporting people like Raven and all the other people in the Bronx who have a dream and you're helping them to see it through. It's really great. And again, that's what the Bronx is all about. We're proud of you.
And thank you, Gary, for this opportunity.
Oh,
I
sure.
appreciate it.
It's great. That's Jane's telling me to get out of here. Folks, if you'd like to offer questions or comments based on anything you heard on the show tonight or anything going on in the Bronx, then email them to us at bronxtalk@hotmail.com, and we'll read those on the air during a future edition of our program. Archives of Bronx Talk available at bronxnet.org. You click Bronx Talk on the right-hand navigation bar. Also, please become a fan of Bronx Talk on Facebook. It works like crazy, as you could see. Now, next week, much more serious, we'll present that highly anticipated debate for the Democratic primary in the 80th AD. That will be in our regular time slot, Monday night, September 10th, 9 p.m. Of the invited candidates, Naomi Rivera, Mark Jonai, Irene Rukaj, and Adam Bermudez, only the incumbent, Naomi Rivera, has indicated that unfortunately she will not attend. But the other 3 will be here. They'll square off. We'll have a very important debate, a show a lot of people are anticipating, so make a note. It's Monday the 10th. Then the week after, we're getting more and more important. Borough President Ruben Diaz will join us on the 17th. We'll roll up our sleeves and ask about everything that you and I can think of that we ought to ask the Borough President. That's the 17th of September. The gorgeous new set, aside from these gorgeous new items, were custom designed for Bronx Talk by BronxNet's Gene Elton, based on an original mural by Bronx artist Daniel Halbin. Thanks to our producer, Jane Folloro, our director, Michael Arias, who's in heaven tonight, and our cast of thousands who are around us up in the booth and here in the studio. And to you, we'll see you soon.